Hello, people of God. I hope you're all having a great afternoon. I'm here with Watchman Brother Anthony, here to tell us about his great testimony that the Lord has done. God has done something great in his life, healed him from a 10-year heart disease. Can you believe that? Brother Anthony, can you tell us your experience? Like, how did everything come about?
Well, I was 15 years old when I first started experiencing heart skipping. When I was doing physical activity, my heart would stop beating for a couple of seconds and then keep going again, and it would stop again and keep going, and as a result, I would pass out. And at one point, it happened really hard where I hit the ground really bad, and they took me to the hospital. They ran some tests on me, and they realized that my pacemaker, which is the part of the heart that controls the beating, was defected, and as a result, my heart was beating too fast. This is a degenerative disease. It gets worse over time, and it would eventually lead to the heart malfunctioning at an older age, which would cause death. As a result, they started giving me medication that I had to take every day, every morning, and what this medication does is it controls my heartbeat. It causes my heart to beat regular like everybody else. I took this medication for 10 years, and over the past few months, I started getting worse. I started passing out again, and I thought it was because I was getting sicker. But what was happening was that my heart was healing, and the medication was becoming too strong for me, so I was passing out again. So when I went to the doctors, they started running more tests on me, and they realized that my heart was completely healed, and I didn't need to take the medication anymore.
Wow, glory be to God. That's incredible. So can you tell me and, the rest of the people watching, what were some of the biggest challenges? Like, did you ever give up hope? Did discouragement ever come upon you? I also heard that your family believed that you were going to die. Like, how did you feel? Like, what were your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a very challenging thing to have growing up. I'd say the biggest challenge was definitely watching the impact on my family. As some of you may know, the hardest experience for me was one night waking up at night and I saw a shadow in my room at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that shadow turned out to be my mom, who I ended up finding out later that she was coming in my room every night to check my pulse to see if I was breathing still, because they didn't think I was going to make it. So that was the more difficult part about having this disease. Also being able not to do things that other people do. They tell you you can't eat certain foods, you can't exercise as much as everyone. I can't get insurance. I couldn't get any sort of health insurance. I'd always get rejected because of it. So those were the major difficulties associated with having heart disease.
Wow. God is so good. We also heard that you used to wear monitors on your chest to regulate everything, and you even came to church with them. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, when I do my tests once a year, and then every 5 years they do a series of deeper testing to see to track the progression of the heart, because they expect it to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So what they do is they put a monitor on me. It hooks onto my side and it has cables plugged into my chest, which does a recording of my heartbeat so that they can track and monitor and see how my heart is performing. And yeah, I would come to church. I would come to church and I would serve still, and nobody knew because I would wear a hoodie. And but I remember I would always come in and I would go to the office and I would show the man of God, Apostle Gideon, and he would pray for it. He took the machine one time and he prayed for the machine, and then we would go in and service would continue. Yeah.
Wow, Anthony, that was prophetic. If any one of you who are watching are sick and are in need of healing, come to House of Grace for All Nations.
Get a letter from the doctor saying that I don't have it anymore and that I could be insured for anything.
Et alors donc la chose que je ferai la prochaine fois, c'est recevoir une lettre du médecin pour dire que je n'ai plus de problème cardiaque afin d'avoir une assurance.
So I just want to say one last thing before I let go.
Alors j'aimerais dire une chose avant de partir.
When we entered this year, Apostle said that the Lord put in his heart that this year would be our year of restitution.
Et lorsque nous avions commencé cette année, l'apôtre a dit que le Seigneur a dit que ce sera notre année de restitution.
Restitution means taking back what belongs to you, or what was taken from you.
La restitution signifie prendre, reprendre, reposséder ce qui vous a été volé ou bien qui vous a été retiré.
For the last 10 years, my health has been completely taken away from me.
Pendant les 10 dernières années, ma santé avait complètement été
This
retirée
is
de
my
moi.
year of restitution.
Mais c'est mon année de restitution. Amen.
Are you understand what I'm saying?
Est-ce que vous comprenez ce que je suis en train de dire?
Medically speaking,
Médicalement parlant,
they don't heal.
ça ne guérit pas.
They get treatment.
Ils reçoivent des traitements
And those treatments
et ces traitements,
is not to heal you.
ce n'est pas pour vous guérir.
It's to prolong life
C'est simplement pour prolonger votre vie
as much as they can.
autant qu'ils peuvent.
And the longer it takes, the more they're going to add dose.
Et de plus longtemps que ça prend, plus ils ajouteront de la dose.
Until they can, there is no level of dose anymore. And then people...
Jusqu'à ce qu'il n'y a plus moyen d'ajouter aucune dose et alors les personnes meurent.
So medically speaking,
Donc médicalement parlant,
this is incorrect.
c'est incorrect.
But Jesusly speaking,
Mais Jésus, en parlant,
yes. Somebody's about to connect with this miracle. I said somebody's about to connect. Listen to me.
écoutez-moi,
One day,
un jour,
when we were in Montreal Road,
lorsque nous étions sur la rue Montréal,
the thing is this: when he came to this ministry,
lorsqu'il est venu dans ce ministère,
he never even shared with us that he had a heart
il
problem.
n'avait jamais partagé avec nous qu'il avait un problème cardiaque.
But we were in Montreal Road.
Mais nous étions à la rue Montréal.
The Lord located him by prophetic word.
Le Seigneur l'a localisé par une parole prophétique.
The Lord said there is somebody here with a heart problem.
Le Seigneur a dit qu'il y a quelqu'un ici avec un problème cardiaque.
Was anybody there who remember?
Est-ce que quelqu'un était là qui se rappelle?
You were there?
Est-ce que vous étiez là?
And he came forward and we prayed for him.
Et il s'était avancé, nous avions prié pour lui.
And then he gave us the whole story.
Et il nous a raconté l'histoire.
And what he said. And then at that time he was saying, maybe it's the will of God.
Et pendant ce temps, il se disait, peut-être que c'est la volonté de Dieu.
Maybe he's a Paul and he has a thorn in the flesh.
Et il disait peut-être qu'il est un Paul et qu'il a un problème, une charte.
I said to him, can you call the will of God when it's not the will of God?
Je lui ai dit, comment peux-tu appeler la volonté de Dieu ce qui n'est pas la volonté
I
de
said,
Dieu?
if the Lord have located you,
J'ai dit, si le Seigneur t'a localisé,
that means the Lord has healed you.
ça veut dire que le Seigneur t'a guéri.
Jésus, tu es le pilier qui soutient ma vie.